Live from the MGM Grand Sportsbook, the VIP area, Gil Alexander from VSiN, Jay Rude, the Vice President of Racing Sports for MGM Resorts International. Behind the Book, brought to you by the Play MGM app. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Jay.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, too. How's it going?
Look at this. Oh, my goodness.
Looking sharp.
So holiday ready. What better way to say happy holidays than to bet on human beings competing against each other?
Absolutely. Like I said, spiked eggnog and spiking footballs. Let's go.
That's right. Let's do it. 4 huge games in the NFL this weekend. In Week 16, the penultimate week of the regular season.
If you say so.
Big word. Atlanta at New Orleans. Playoff implications abound, as do playoff implications exist in the Rams at Tennessee, Buffalo at New England, and of course, Seattle at Dallas. Will tackle them all from the MGM Grand Behind the Book. Back on Behind the Book here, live from the MGM Grand VIP area. Gil Alexander from VSiN, Jay Rude from MGM Resorts International, the VP of Racing Sports. Jay, huge game at New Orleans, big playoff implications. The Atlanta Falcons, who are 9-5, on the outside looking in the NFC South, right now in the number 6 playoff position in the NFC. They're in a very interesting position because they win out. There is a situation where they could actually win the division, but if they lose out, they may be out of the playoffs altogether. They're 5.5-point favorites against the Saints at New Orleans. Saints tied for the lead right now with the Panthers at 10-4 in that division.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy division, the entire year. Panthers, Saints, Atlanta. It's like no one really wanted to step up and take control of the division, but no one's really playing horrible, that you would say that they shouldn't legitimately be there to maybe have a shot to win the division. So, there's going to be one team, I think, out of the division that is severely disappointed. We'll find out who that is pretty soon.
I think it might be Atlanta, but just my opinion. You obviously can wager with your own dollars. The spread here is 5.5. We call that in business no man's land, between 3 and 7. Does it go either way here, your prediction?
It's not no man's land the way they've been missing point afters lately. So, I mean, 5 used to be just you would jump right over, 4.5 straight to 5, and sometimes straight to 6. If the play was strong enough, but I think you're right on here. I think the Saints is probably going to be the side that the public lands on, and unfortunately for us in the sports business, I think it's going to be the side that the sharps land on too. So I mean, this is going to be a double pop from my side of the book.
So you're going to need the Falcons.
We're going to need the Falcons. Yeah, we're going to need them to show up and play fantastic in the second half, which they haven't done all year, mate.
Saints beat the Jets last week, didn't cover. Falcons, famously on Monday night, beat the Bucks, but looked pretty bad in doing it. So you're going to need a better performance from Matt Ryan.
Both teams kind of looked bad last week, you know. So I mean, that's a conundrum for the player because they like to bet what they just saw, which was a great performance, and neither one of these teams is coming in with that.
And a conundrum too.
Yeah, I'm trying to use your vocabulary.
Well. Atlanta, 5.5-point favorites, hosting, or I should say, traveling to New Orleans on Sunday. Behind the Book continues now, Week 16 in the NFL from the MGM Grand Sportsbook here, brought to you by the Play MGM app. Gil Alexander, Jay Rude. It is Christmas time. I want to act like we're not wearing these festive outfits, but we are. Surely you're giving away money at the sportsbook this week.
Oh, yeah. That's just like the last 2 or 3 weeks we've been giving it away. If you walked up to the counter this week and basically said the words teaser,
that's right,
more than likely you cast your ticket. I mean, it was, I think, 24 out of 20 or 20 out of 24 decisions on Sunday.
That's right.
Teasers covered. So, I mean, it's been a rough go, but as you always point out, you really don't care.
I really don't cry for you, Jay Rude. Yeah, and the ones that didn't cover his teasers, no one was really betting on Cincinnati or Houston anyway.
Yeah, right.
So, too bad for you. Another great game, though, with playoff implications in Week 16. The Rams at Tennessee. The Rams right now on top in the NFC West. If they win one game or Seattle loses one, the Rams win the division. There is still a crazy scenario where the Rams could be out entirely. That would require them to lose both of their games and the Seahawks to win their last 2 games. Probably unlikely, but right here, the Rams traveling to Tennessee. Tennessee's got playoff implications of their own here based on outcome. They are 6.5-point home dogs against the Rams. Tennessee 8-6, currently in playoff position in the AFC, but they've got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a big problem. I mean, they're probably going to be one of the biggest dogs in the playoff if they make the playoffs.
If they get there.
Tennessee. I mean, they've just from a power rating perspective, they've really tanked. Probably since like week 4.
Yeah.
Just steadily chipping away, going down, going down. I mean, this is going to be a game where we're going to need the home team to moxie up and do something, because we're going to get nothing but Ram money under this, key number of 7 right away.
This gets to 7?
Yeah, it's got to get to 7, or I'm not going to be able to stop anything.
Yeah.
I think we probably get to 7 by Saturday, and then maybe the sharps get involved, and I have to give you -7 even. But I think if you leave this at 6.5, we are just a tidal wave of money on the Rams.
That means if you want to bet the Rams, maybe, if you believe in what Jay's saying, bet them early. If you want to bet the Titans, just hang out, wait till it gets to 7. Marcus Mariota, not the quarterback, perhaps, that we thought he was. Tennessee needs to win this. 6.5-point home dogs right now at home against the Rams. Behind the Book, live from the MGM Grand VIP area here at the lovely MGM Grand, atop the sports book, loftish.
Overlooking the masses.
Yes, the masses. Come on down if you're in town for the holidays. We'd love to see you here. It's time for our favorite segment, Ask the Pro. Jay, how much are the different positions worth to the line? For example, how much does the line move if a quarterback does or does not play compared to a running back, wide out, or other offensive or defensive positions? Good question.
Good question. Obviously, the main position that garners most of the line movement is the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And depending on which team and philosophy of offense and whatnot, that it can be anywhere from 1.5, 2-point swing to when Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers were 2-3 years ago, Aaron was like a 6-7 point swing.
Would you say
even now he's 4 or 5 points.
Aaron Rodgers, the biggest example of the difference in value in a point spread between starting and backup quarterback?
Yeah, now as the backup stays in there, the gap narrows, right? I mean, if it would have been 6 with him, mm-hmm. and the backups played for 2 or 3 weeks, it's not going to be 12 or 13.
As Brett Hundley improves,
as he improves,
so goes down the difference.
But one of the ones that doesn't get any acknowledgement
mm-hmm.
is starting centers. Starting centers is a big consideration for bookmakers when establishing a point spread.
So it is baked into the line? Because we like to famously say that's not baked into the line.
That is baked into the line. You get a Pouncey or somebody that's handling the ball. They handle the ball every single
And
play.
Alex Mack, for instance, with the Falcons, someone like that?
Yeah, I mean, someone that has a well-established relationship with the quarterback. We saw it a couple of years ago.
Interesting.
One team, I forget what it was, but they couldn't even get the snap off.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like literally 3 times in the game that they screwed up the snap. So it's a big deal, and it's also one of the biggest protection points for the quarterback too. You got to have a lot of confidence that that guy's going to cover you, and not step back on you too soon. There's a whole cadence to that whole little exchange.
All right, give me quick answers to this. Antonio Brown, who just famously partially tore his calf, he'll be out for the Steelers this week and next week. Does he mean something to the point spread? Best wide receiver in
football. Touching the ball 6 to 8 times. Yeah, I mean, he's an impact. 1.5, maybe 2 points, depending on the defense he's going up against. If he's going up against the Ravens, point and a half. He's going up against a softer defense, maybe 2.
So that's a key element to this as well. Not only is it dependent on who the player is, but it's who the matchup is. So Tom Brady hosting the Cleveland Browns does not mean as much to the point spread as Tom Brady on the road against, let's say, the LA Rams. It's a different proposition.
He means more on the road against the Rams than he does against the Browns.
That's what I mean. It's a totally different proposition.
Absolutely. I mean, if he sat against the Browns, maybe it's only a 4 or 5 point difference. If he sat against the Rams, it could be like a 7-point swing.
Yeah,
somehow.
does not mean it much in the easier matchup. Last one, Ezekiel Elliott for the Cowboys coming back off suspension. He means something, doesn't he?
Yeah, a field goal at least right now. And I mean, probably 4 points depending on the matchup.
Okay. Ezekiel Elliott, of course, hosting Seattle. We'll talk about that game later on the show right here on Behind the Book. Behind the Book continues Week 16 in the NFL from the MGM Grand VIP area. You make a large enough wagers, and you get a VIP room?
Yeah, I mean, you and your boys can find yourself up here watching an afternoon of games and having a couple of adult beverages.
Couple of adult beverages. Who doesn't like that? And betting on football just in time for the holiday season. Nothing says happy holidays like a wager.
Yeah.
What
Get
about
get on the app.
What about Buffalo and New England? Yes, get on the Play MGM app. Glad you mentioned that. Saves you from the lines. Can make the wager from the comforts of your home.
Better right at the Christmas dinner table.
Yeah, with your family.
What says holidays like that?
And when they ask you what you're doing, you just say, nothing, none of your business.
Checking the score.
That's what you do. Buffalo's at New England, Jay.
Yeah.
The Patriots famously beating the Steelers. Controversy abounds, but the Patriots, in some cases, get the push, in some cases, get the cover. Last week, they're the Patriots. It just seems to work out. They're in the driver's seat in the AFC to get the #1 seed. And then there's the Buffalo Bills. They're at New England. New England's a 11.5-point favorite here. Buffalo's 8-6. They're currently in playoff position. However, it doesn't look good schedule-wise. This is going to be a tough game for them, obviously. Could get knocked out of playoff position, even with a win here. Even if they miraculously beat the Patriots, there's a scenario where they get knocked out of playoff position with 1 week left. So, tough road to hoe for the Bills here.
It is. And I mean, 11.5-point favorite on the Patriots. Everyone's going to be like, oh, this is a revenge game because of what Gronk did. We talked last week about MVPs. I mean, look how important Gronk is to that team. I mean, he basically manhandled the secondary and got them down to that touchdown, to win the game.
Unstoppable.
I mean, he's like a cyborg or something. I mean, he's crazy. I would love to go party with him, by the way, for just one night. That's all I think I can handle.
Side note.
But, Buffalo always comes, though. I mean, they say Buffalo is going to pack their lunchbox, I think, for this one and just show up all day and be as tough as they can. I do think the public is starting to back off the Patriots a little bit from a big point spread because they haven't looked Patriot-esque in the last 2 or 3 games.
True.
So I think we're going to have a hard time here, maybe getting some significant money on Patriots minus the big wood, but we'll see.
Lay in the wood if you take the Patriots at 11.5. Buffalo beats Miami last week. Miami had held their previous 2 opponents to 1 for 24 on third downs, that being the Patriots and before that the Broncos. Last week, though, Tyrod Taylor, mobile as he is, gets the Bills to 7 for 15 on third downs against Miami. So the Patriots have to contend with that. 11.5, a lot to lay.
It's a lot to lay with still a pretty important game for both teams. Patriots can't slip up because I think they want the friendly home field advantage during the playoffs if they can maintain that, after that and validate that win that they just got in Pittsburgh. If they don't win here on out, that means nothing.
All right, Buffalo trying to stop their 17-year drought of not making the playoffs. We'll see if it's 18 years in a row or not. Bills fans hope the Bills can get it done this Sunday. Another great game, Week 16 in the NFL. 2 teams, both with playoff implications depending on the results. Seattle at Dallas, and you say to yourself, Seattle and Dallas, do either team really have a shot? And yes, mathematically they do. Jay, Seattle 8-6, Dallas 8-6. They're both currently on the outside looking in the NFC playoff picture. It's sort of a de facto elimination game. As we mentioned earlier on the show, Zeke meaning a whole bunch to the Cowboys. Seattle coming off this just dreadful game against the Rams, where every time you looked up at the screen, Todd Gurley or Farrell Cooper was just dashing through your television, rolled by the Rams 42-7.
Yeah, I think I sent you a couple of texts during that game.
You did.
To sort of understand if you were still backing the MVP vote for Russell Wilson. But a couple of teams that have highly disappointing seasons.
Yes.
But have some hope. So
still,
the Cowboys -5 right now at home. The public is starting to lose faith in Seattle because of all the injuries that they've had and all the adversity they've had to deal with. Cowboys, same thing. I mean, Lee's been out, and he's very significant to that team and how that defense performs. And obviously Zeke is what makes the offense go for the Dallas Cowboys. And with him back, we'll see. Can they just turn the switch and kind of look like the Cowboys the first couple of games of the season, or is it going to be a rust factor and it's going to take a little while for Zeke to get in rhythm and that pounding offense again for them to establish their dominance again. But I think in this particular game, this number could creep up. 5 is kind of a dead number, like we discussed earlier in a different game. We probably should be at 5.5 instead of just a flat 5, but. The way Seattle's missing point afters too, 5 could be a very significant number in this particular game. But we're going to be big Cowboy fans, I think, in this game.
Okay, Cowboys -5 at home against Seattle. Again, Seattle might just be a question that the injuries are just too much for them to get over, both in the Legion of Boom on defense, and then, of course, the offensive line and the running back situation, which Russell Wilson has so ably overcome until last week.
Right, and my mistake. We are going to be big Seahawks fans in this game, not Cowboy fans.
Yes, you will need the Seahawks plus the points. Right now, Cowboys -5, total at 47. Behind the book, stat time, stats of the week. You ready? Oh, you're not going to like this.
Yeah, I'm not going to like this at all.
All right, so Jay, here's the dealio. NFL favorites are having their best season in more than a decade.
Really?
I'll put numbers to it. They're covering the spread collectively 55.1% of the time for the season. That's currently the highest mark since 2005. But since week 7, 78, 44, and 8 against the spread. That's what favorites have been. 64.3% of the time, you're getting crushed on parlays and teasers.
Yes, and my bosses suddenly think that they're like, this guy, was it smoke and mirrors? Does he know what he's doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is the time of year where the good teams really perform well, and the bad teams, I don't know, they're jockeying for the #1 draft pick.
There is hope, though, Jay. Favorites have struggled in the postseason. Since 2003, favorites have only covered 47.7% of the time in the playoffs. So good for you. Maybe good times are coming.
Yeah, good times are coming. 2018, can't wait for it to get here. And those games have high concentrations of large decisions. So, maybe we can salvage a bit of this season.
All right,
late.
Get on the favorite train. Just go up to the window. You heard what Jay said. Just say the word teaser, and money just comes to you. Perfect for the holidays and this wonderful time of year. For Jay Rood, the Vice President of Race and Sports at MGM Resorts International, Gil Alexander from the Vegas Stats and Information Network, thanks so much for watching Behind the Book, brought to you as always by the Play MGM app.